Starting off with F tier, we've got Penny Parker. Now, I like the idea that they had with her with the spider webs, and you can use her as a control character to really lock down a section of the map, especially in the King of the Hill game modes. Now, the reason I've put Penny Parker in F tier is because she's just not that good with her main damage attack. Yes, you can get a little bit lucky with her spider webs and the bombs that you can put on the ground, but overall, she's pretty easy to kill. Now, the ultimate, there are certain scenarios where the ultimate can go ham. Just overall as a whole, the other picks and tanks that you can choose in Marvel Rivals are a lot better than Penny Parker. It's good if you can hide in the corner with her and your team can play around it. I don't like the fact that you're just stuck in one section, again, unless you're really playing King of the Hill, which is a super specific game mode for her. Moving on to the D tier, I might catch a lot of flack for this one. It's going to be Venom. Venom, again, is one of those characters that in a very specific scenario with the right team comp, when you've got the dive going, Venom could be pretty good. Sometimes when I'm playing Psylocke and we have a Venom on our team, I really like playing with the Venom because you can target the healers really easily. Now, the problem with Venom is the damage output with him isn't really that good unless you're pairing it with the rest of your team, and you're also not really helping your healers when they're getting attacked, which is not good as a tank, because as a tank, you really want to be helping your team, creating space and pushing forward. With Venom, a lot of the times you go in there, you pepper them a little bit, and then you run away. You're spending half of your time as a tank running away, not really helping your team. Again, in very specific scenarios, you could get away with using Venom, not to mention he's probably a little bit harder to play than the other characters, so there's a skill gap ceiling with Venom too. Now, if you can really figure it out and get a good team comp going and start working together, Venom could be a little bit higher than D tier, but because he's quite hard to play and doesn't really help your overall team that much, he's going to go in D tier, especially at the higher ranks. Moving on to C tier, now we could move him up a little bit, it's Captain America. Again, there's certain scenarios when you're diving with Captain America that you could get away with him being really good. Now, his kit is a little bit harder to use because you got to start pairing combos together. He is very good at creating space, and man, I've run into some Captain Americas that can cause absolute devastation. So again, you could probably move him up on the list a little bit because he is good at moving around the map, and he can come back and help your team too. Plus, he does have a little bit of a shield as well that can help block incoming damage for your team. He's also very good at singling out the healers or specific targets if needed. Moving on to the B tier, it's going to be Groot. Yes, Groot could be a little bit higher, but Groot overall, he's a little easier to play, which is why I've ranked him a bit higher, because it doesn't take that much skill to play Groot. Just put down the walls and block damage, which is what Groot's job is. He's good for staying with the team, staying on the cart, and staying in the hill with the team as well. Putting down the walls blocks a lot of damage and can create a lot of space for your team as well. Groot's ultimate is very, very good as well too when you can pair it with your team to cause a lot of damage and create game-changing plays. The only downside with Groot is that he gets absolutely fried if there's another Punisher on the team. I mean, he's just a magnet for bullets. So if you get a team that starts targeting you when you're playing Groot, you're pretty much going to get shredded, which is why I've put him in the B tier. Moving on to the A tier, I've put 3 tanks in here, starting off with Thor. Now, Thor could be an S tier. The reason he's an A tier is because he's a little bit harder to play than the other characters. You really need to learn how to pair your combos with Thor and position yourself correctly. If you go up a little bit too far and you don't time it well enough, you could get caught out of positioning. You got to find the right balance of playing without your team and soloing out certain targets and playing with your team when you have to fall back. His ultimate is very good when you can fly up into the air and just solo out a certain healer and kill them instantly. The next 2 are very similar. We're going to go with Hulk and The Thing. I've put them in A tier because they are very good at just causing a lot of mayhem and devastation, and they're very, very hard to kill. They create a lot of space for your team, and they work really well together if you get both on the same team now. Hulk gets banned at the higher ranks, and we're probably going to start seeing The Thing get banned at higher ranks too. Moving on to S tier, we've got Doctor Strange and Magneto. Now, the reason I've put these guys at the top for S tier is because Doctor Strange, he's not that hard to play. His shield is massive for the whole team. And let's not forget the most important detail, it's his teleportation device. Yep, the teleporter can cause so many clutch moments for your team, repositioning, flanking, getting the fight started. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on why Doctor Strange is probably the best tank to play at the higher ranks, or at any rank really. And his ultimate is also free kills on anyone that gets stunned by it. And last but not least, we've got Magneto. He goes hand in hand with Doctor Strange as well. He also has the shield, and he has the bubble for yourself and for the team, allowing you to push up and cause a lot of damage with having a safety insurance policy with your own bubble. Now, if one of your healers are getting dove, you can pop the bubble onto them to protect them a little bit longer, and you also have the shield too as well for you and your team. He's great at creating space, and his ultimate absolutely goes ham too. Well, that's my tier list for the tanks. Let me know what you think and comment down below.